Welcome to Storytime. My name is Miss Linda and I am one of the kids programmers here at the Nixon Library in Jacksonville. Today we are going to have a story time about some of the most magical creatures in the big blue sea. Today our story time is about mermaids. Do you know what mermaids are? That's right. Mermaids are people who are part human and part fish, and they live underwater. Now, you may have seen some movies about mermaids or TV shows about mermaids, but here at the library, we have books about mermaids. And today, I'm going to read you a couple of books about mermaids. Now, first, we need to go over a couple of signs. Are you ready? Let's warm up our fingers first. Do some wiggling. Make it big. Now shut up. Big. Shut up. Big shut up. Awesome. So the first sign we are going to learn today is ocean. The ocean is where the mermaids live, and other things like fish and sharks and octopuses and stuff. Now, to do ocean, you're going to make a 3, kind of like this. Okay? And then you're going to put your 3 to your chin and do this. That's part 1. There are 2 parts to ocean. So, get your 3, put it to your chin, wiggle it, and then you're going to do some waves. And we're going to put that together. So, do our 3 first, and then waves. Let's do that one more time. 3. This is actually the sign for water. So, water, waves. One more time, just to be sure. Awesome job. Okay, so the first book we're going to read is called Mabel, a Mermaid Fable by Robert Watkins. All right, I wonder what kind of mermaid story this is going to be. It could be a scary mermaid story or an action adventure mermaid story. Or a sad mermaid story. We'll have to find out by reading it. So let's read it. What was weird about Mabel wasn't her mustache. Oh. Mabel has a mustache. Let's bring that closer so you can see it. But she's covering it up. Oh. Her dad had a mustache. Her mom had a mustache. Oh. Her mom's mustache is very curly. Her big sisters had matching mustaches. Even her baby brother had a tiny mustache. Oh. He's right over here and his mustache is so tiny here. Do you see it? It's so tiny. What was weird about Mabel was that she had no mustache at all. Mabel doesn't have a mustache. Oh my. Mabel tried hiding her nose behind jaunty shells, like this one, by wearing seaweed falsies, like this one and this one. But this only made her feel like a clown. Oh! Here's some pufferfish. And the pufferfish are saying, "Nudie branch." Nudie branch? Wonder what that is. Hmm. Well, it doesn't sound very pleasant. Mabel had no idea what a nudie branch was. Well, neither do I, Mabel. But if she was one, the only thing to do was hide. Oh, poor Mabel. So she frittered away, who knows how long, hiding in holes along the ocean floor. My goodness, poor Mabel. She must be so sad. Oh, wonder what that is. Until Mabel realized she was not alone. "Who are you?" she asked. "I'm Lucky," said the giant eye. "Who are you?" "I'm Mabel." "Why are you here?" Mabel asked. "Because I only have 7 legs." That sure sounds like a lot of legs. Yeah, that is a lot of legs. 7 is 5 legs too many for us. "I'm supposed to have 8, said Lucky. What lives in the ocean and has 8 legs? Maybe if we turn the page, we'll find out. Oh! Lucky is an octopus. An octopus lives in the ocean and has 8 legs. But Lucky only has 7. Well, what can you do with 8 legs that you can't do with 7? Mabel asked. Count to 8, said Lucky. I can teach you to count to 8, said Mabel. Okay. Mabel actually helped Lucky count all the way up to 88. Oh my gosh. And look, they used pieces of treasure from this sunken pirate treasure chest. Well, it might be a pirate treasure chest. Who knows? And Lucky sort of taught Mabel how to juggle. Great, says Lucky. Oh, yeah, that is sort of juggling. They pretended to be king and queen of the corals. Whoa, look at these corals. They're so beautiful, and they come in many different kinds of shapes and colors. Did you know, kids, that a coral is actually an animal and not a plant? I didn't know that either, but apparently that's what corals are, animals and not plants. Uh-oh, it's those mean old pufferfish, and they're saying nudie branches. My gosh, how rude, I think. Uh-oh, I think Lucky released some ink. Sorry, said Lucky. I leak when I'm scared. That's okay, said Mabel. What's a nudie branch? Nudie branches are sea slugs, said Lucky. Oh, said Mabel. So that's why they're awful. They aren't awful, silly, said Lucky. Nudie branches are amazing. Okay, so these little things are nudie branches, and nudie branches are sea slugs. And look at all the different kinds of shapes and colors nudie branches can come in. That is pretty amazing. That doesn't seem like a bad thing to be. Suddenly, Mabel realized everything she ever needed was already under her nose. Oh, what she really needed, instead of a mustache, was a friend, and she found one. Oh, look. I wonder what comes after 88. Let's find out. Ah. The end. That was an awesome book. Mabel was really wanting a mustache so that she could be like the rest of her family. But what she really needed was a friend who was a little different like her to help her realize that she is amazing. Like a nudie branch. Alright guys, we have another sign for today. Today's sign is swim. Now swim, you're going to need both of your hands. You're going to lay them flat out like this. And you're going to kind of make like you're swimming. And that's swim. Swim. Let's do that one more time, okay? You ready? Swim. Hey, before we read our next book, let's practice ocean. Do you remember what ocean looked like? Let's do it together. So, part 1. Part 2. Okay, let's do it. Ocean. Ocean. So, we have swimming, swimming, and ocean. Ocean. Great job. Now, we are going to read one more book about a mermaid. This mermaid also has a friend, but it is not a 7-legged octopus. It's a sea otter. This book is called Una by Kelly DiPuccio. See, here's Una and her sea otter friend and a little turtle. Una was sweet and a little salty, like the ocean where she lived. She was also brave and curious, like most treasure hunters. Oh, Una is a treasure hunter. This one is going to be an exciting book. When Una was just a baby, no bigger than a scallop, she chased a pearl into the mouth of a whale. Oh, lucky for her, she popped right back out. My goodness. As the years passed, Una found bigger treasure and even bigger trouble. It's a good thing she has Otto. Wonder which one's Otto. Otto might be the sea otter. Yep, I think so. Una rescued Otto from an oyster net when he was just a pup. She taught him tricks like sit, sit, roll over, and walrus. And her favorite, puffer fish. Kind of like the puffer fish we saw in Mabel. Una and Otto searched for treasure nearly every day. They uncovered keys and coins and buttons and bottles. Sometimes they even found lost gold. And sometimes lost glasses. Looking sharp, Una and Otto. Those fancy glasses. But there was one special treasure Una could never quite reach. The crown. Oh, here it is, right here. It was extra sparkly in a way that made Una's heart thump. But the crown was stuck deep in the rift, and not a pole or a pail or the sticky stick of a snail could get it unstuck. Still, Una was determined. Her next plan was a good one. She knocked the crown loose. Unfortunately, the current shifted. The lobster crake and rock drifted, and the squid, well, just see for yourself. Ah, look at that. That is a big mess. It's hard to say who was more surprised when the water cleared. Una or the shark. Ah! Oh my goodness, that shark came out of nowhere. Her third plan most definitely would have worked if the crabs hadn't been so crabby and the waves hadn't been so wavy. And if that long ship plank hadn't bumped her head hard before the greedy rift gobbled it up too. My goodness. Uh-oh. Una looks a little despondent. Despondent here is a word that can mean sad. Poor Una. This was getting personal. She shouted into the pit, "You can keep your dumb crown. I quit." Generally speaking, mermaids are not quitters, but at this point, one could hardly blame her. Instead of looking for treasure with Otto, Una napped on the rocks with sea lions right here. She drew pictures in the sand with the starfish right here. And she read from her favorite glass bottles with her land friends. Right there. All of this would have been perfectly fine, except Una wasn't perfectly fine. Clearly, she was missing her spark. And a mermaid without her spark is like a seagull without an appetite. Unnatural. Oh, poor Una. A seashell washed ashore. Una studied it thoughtfully. It gave her an idea. She got right to work. The next day, Una peered nervously into the rift. Why did it look so much deeper and scarier than she remembered? Otto pretended to be a narwhal, making Una laugh. Admittedly, the new treasure hunting goggles she'd invented were funny looking, but they were also her best shot at reaching the crown. All right, let's see if she can do it. There she goes. She dove to the bottom of the murky rift. That's when Una noticed something she couldn't see from above. A bridge. A bridge made from a crate, a rock, and the very same plank that had plunked her on the head. And it led straight to the crown. Ooh. But what was that rumbling sound? Rumble, 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 rumble. It grew louder and louder. The ocean floor shook, and the water around Una churned into a thick stew of swirling sand and sea creatures. She couldn't see. She felt trapped. Would the hungry rift gobble her up too? Oh, let's turn the page and find out. The suspense is killing me. Through the commotion, Una could hear something else in the distance. It was a faint but comforting and familiar sound. The whales. Una sang along until the rumbling stopped and the water cleared. Finally, this was her chance. Una held her breath. Ready? Ready. Steady, steady. Aim! Clink. Hooray! Oh, look! She got the crown! Fantastic! Way to go, Una! We did it! Una cheered, placing the crown on her best friend. It really is beautiful, she gushed. But these, Una said excitedly, holding up her new goggles, these are spectacular. Otto agreed, because sometimes the best treasure in the world isn't found. It's made. Oh, look at what Una made. Looks like she used a plank and some curly bits and some flip-flops, her goggles, a seashell, and the crown. That looks so cool. The end. All right. So today we read 2 stories about mermaids, Mabel and Una. And we learned 2 signs. Let's go over them again, one last time. So first, we're going to do ocean. Now remember, ocean has 2 parts. So let's do them. You can do it. Ocean. One more time. Ocean. Awesome job. And now our next sign, do you remember? That's right, it was swim. You ready? Swim. Swim. Good job, guys. Thanks for doing these signs with me and reading these books with me. And that's all the time we have for today. We'll see you next time, okay? Bye.